We will start with a new concept today that is very much important for your case studies, that is related to value conflict. Okay, so we will try to understand what is value conflict, and then we will try to see how can you solve the value conflict, or what are the different scenarios in which you will come across value conflict. The different scenarios we'll try to discuss, and the case studies we will solve later. Now we will focus on the theoretical aspect. We will try to understand the concepts. Okay, so if you remember, we have discussed about value yesterday, and I've told you it's all about importance, it's about preferences, it's about desirability, it's about superiority, etc. And then we have discussed about morals. Morals means it is again related to values only, but at the individual level. And then we have discussed about ethics, which is again values are at the group level. So morals and ethics are dealing with the rights and wrongs, or good and bads. So both are used synonymously. Both are actually the two sides of the same coin. The specific difference is value is morality. When values are codified, it is what you can say good and bad. So at the individual level, it is morals. At the group level, it is ethics. If there is a discrepancy between these two, that situation is what you call as the value conflict. Okay, so we have discussed about hmm? Yeah, all of you please turn off your mic and video. Okay, so just one question you can write down there, and you can try to attempt also. In fact, we have solved that particular question already. That discuss the relationship between morality and ethics. Discuss the relationship between morality and ethics. So if you get a question like this, yesterday I have simply told the question ethics versus morality, or the differentiation or differences between ethics and morality, and I've told you this question was asked in UPSC 2018. So here the question is discuss the relationship between morality and ethics. So it is like the way you have written differences yesterday. The same things is what you need to write here. Explain what is value, explain what is morality, explain what is ethics, and then tell how they both go in, go hand in hand. Okay, so moral and ethical. I have shown this diagram. So if this is ethics and this is moral, this is what we are looking for, moral as well as ethical. So here there is no value conflict. Okay, and then you can also say how both differ. That situation is what you can understand as ethical dilemma. So ethical dilemma is what we will try to see today in terms of value conflict. So explain both scenario, how both will go hand in hand. Okay, so for example, I have given you the example of the public prosecutor who's supporting the victim. That is clear-cut example of both going hand in hand. There is no dilemma there. But the defense lawyer who is arguing for the criminal, despite knowing that he committed the heinous crime, it is actually against morality. It is against his conscience. But okay, it is actually as part of the code of conduct of the profession. So you have to do it as part of code of conduct or the ethics of the profession, because your profession demands so. So there is a value conflict, and then you also need to explain in your case study, or even in this particular answer also, how to resolve the problem of value conflict. So how can you solve this ethical dilemma? So that's how you need to answer this particular question. You can try to attempt it. We have discussed it yesterday, except the last part, how to resolve it. And mostly solution we will have to see based on the facts. The question which is given to you, based on the facts only, we will come up with the solution. Because you see, you cannot go for a fixed answer. There is something which is given to you, the facts will be from the question, so you just need to spend time in understanding the question and the facts from the question. Based on that only we are going to solve. It's not that you are preparing before and you're going to solve the question, or you're going to write the answer. Seeing the question, picking up the facts and applying some principles, you're going to solve it then and there. You see the question, you see the facts, you solve it, right? So here we don't want to bother too much about that, but general principles like you have to follow the concept of tolerance, persuasion, etc., that we will discuss in detail in the coming sessions. So I hope you understood the way you need to write that answer. If the relationship is asked, you tell what is value, what is ethics, what is morality, then talk about what are the situations where both go hand in hand and how it differ, and that situation is what we call as value conflict or ethical dilemma. Okay, so just write one more question. This is what we are going to solve now. I'll give you the idea or what you need to write in this context. What do you understand by value conflict? What do you understand by value conflict? Give examples. Or it can be, what do you understand by value conflict, if there is any value conflict, and then how to resolve it. So these are the type of questions that you are going to get. Now see, if you see, can you tell me some value conflicts, some situations? Yesterday we have discussed about patriarchy versus gender equality, right? Patriarchy versus gender equality. How the value conflict is here? It is basically, this is a traditional concept. Traditional society, this is patriarchy. So the society is patriarchal in nature. But you as a person, modern, you got Western education or modern education. So you are modern, so you try to treat female equally, right? Women also equally like you. So you go for gender equality. So this is a situation where you feel, or you can see that value conflict. Yesterday I've told you in the temple entry case of women during menstrual cycle, right? So you may support it, okay, and the society may not accept it. So this is a situation of value conflict. And again, apart from this, you can see n number of situations like dictatorship versus democracy, okay, and then environment versus development. Environment versus development. And what is the synthesis of this? You will go for sustainable development, right? Protecting the environment or taking care of environment development. Meet the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. It is actually a synthesis of both, right? So that is actually the solution, synthesis of both. Or you can also see the development versus displacement. So for development, you will have to do certain activities, and that may lead to displacement of some sections, and mostly the tribal sections. When you go for construction of multi-purpose project, etc. So tribals will be displaced. Mostly it will be tribals, and already they are vulnerable. And when it comes to development, again they will be displaced. And then there are issues with respect to the settlement. Not only physical settlement, you can give them home, you can give them accommodation, but emotional settlement is required, social settlement is required. So much of things are there. All those are again going to be discussed. And then individual rights versus collective rights, merit versus egalitarianism or equality, religion versus scientific temper, okay, tradition versus modernity, regionalism versus nationalism, okay. So like North Indian, South Indian, when we say, that is what regionalism, or rather Indian, so that is nationalism, okay. Then you can talk about terrorism versus patriotism. Now, when it comes to patriotism, we can make further distinction between patriotism versus nationalism. So we will try to see what is the clear-cut difference between these two. We will discuss all these concepts. I will discuss in the coming sessions. And so here you see, I'm making a connection from here that this is terrorism versus patriotism. Then this I can make it like this also, patriotism versus nationalism. And from here also I can make nationalism versus cosmopolitanism. This is a new concept. Cosmopolitanism means in the globalized world, it is universalism, like a universal citizen, like that concept. Okay, nationalism versus cosmopolitanism. All these are what? All these are value conflict. Value conflict means basically the paradoxes, the dichotomies. Okay, so whatever dichotomy you can see, you can come across, all these are in a way value conflict. And if the question is asked on value conflict, what you need to write in that particular question? Explain what is value, again moral, again ethics. So that we are clear anyway yesterday, and tell in the paper, and hardly remember, you need to write only 125 words and explain where these go, differ. That is a situation of value conflict. Give these examples. Now how to resolve it, that also you need to write. The main problem is actually the mismanagement of value conflict is the problem. So value conflict will be always there. It is inevitable because see, there are so much of diversity, okay, in the form of different ideologies, in terms of opinions, different religion, caste, culture, ethnicity, language. So much of differences there between us also. Even if you see in this class itself, people from across India is there. So obviously there are so much of differences because of diversities will be there. So obviously value conflict will be there. Okay, so because of different ideology, opinion, caste, creed, gender. But the problem is the mismanagement of value conflict that lead to negative consequences or the ill effects. That is the problem. And that in society, in actual practice, you can see in terms of communal riots, communal violence, etc. Okay, because when we discuss about value conflict, we will talk about religion. I'll give you the example of religion also, and we will also discuss about profession. These two examples right now I will give you. The problem is the mismanagement of value conflict that lead to communal riots, communal violence, etc., ethnic cleansing, caste violence, ethnic conflicts, atrocities against Dalits, moral policing, cow issues, right? All this Maoism, all are related to some kind of value conflict. So value conflict will be there. It is expected. Even yesterday I have told about this Rajaram Mohan Roy case also. This is also value conflict. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar we have discussed. That is also value conflict. For that matter, any social reformers if you take, there exists a value conflict because the individual morality was completely against the society, and the individual went against the society and have done massive transformation in society. So the value conflict is there, and that will be there almost all the time, especially in societies like India. And the problem is with the mismanagement of the value conflict. How you manage it? So what you need, or the main solution is actually value tolerance. Value tolerance means what? Respecting others' value. So I may be in total disagreement with all of you. Okay, I may be in total disagreement with any of your point, but I should respect that. So especially others' value you should respect. And there is a very famous statement from Voltaire that sir, the statement goes like this: sir, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to my death your right to say so. So you have the right to say so. I may be in total disagreement with that, but I will defend to my death for your right to say so. You have the right to say. So this is, you can see, extreme level of tolerance. You are totally against it. You are in complete disagreement to that, but you are defending the right of others. Others have the right to say that. So that is what you mean by value tolerance. So the point here is value conflict is normal. Value conflict is possible. This ethical dilemma will be there because the society is like that. So much of diversity, so much of differences, so much of ideologies, opinions, religion, culture, caste, creed, etc. is there. So it is very much normal. But if you're not able to manage it, then it will be a problem. Now, when you talk about religion, what are the main issues that currently we can discuss? You can talk in terms of triple talaq, inheritance laws, adoption law, property rights. All these can create problems, with especially if you talk about in the context of uniform civil code. And this uniform civil code is not only for Muslims. Okay, it is actually, and when we talk about uniform civil code, it is actually a code which is in sync with modern values. So it is related to modern values. So it also affect all religion. And it's not that the hegemony of majority religion over minority. It is not that case. Okay, and in fact Ambedkar came with Hindu code also before, because within Hindus also unity is required, right? And we can discuss that there are a lot of problems which is again coming with all these things. So here also value conflicts are possible. Society says something, or society for societal point of view something is desirable, but individual may go against it, or some community may go against it. So that may be problem. For example, you can write about Rajaram Mohan Roy in the context of Sati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, okay, in the context of Widow Remarriage Act, etc. What about profession? If you talk about profession, yesterday also I have given you some examples, right? When it comes to professions, that coaching center manager example I have given you, the doctor example I have given you, the lawyer example I have given you. So once you join in a particular profession, whether it is IAS, IPS, or doctor or lawyer or anything, you are expected to follow what? The code of conduct, right? You are expected to follow the procedure or the code of conduct or the professional ethics. That is what code of ethics for the professionals. It is there for lawyers, it will be there for doctors, and it will be there for all the professions. So you are expected to follow that, and that is the reason why yesterday we have discussed that the defense lawyer is bound to defend the criminal despite the fact that he know it clearly that the person committed the heinous crime. So here also there will be a conflict, okay, value conflict. Now how you are going to manage it, that is going to be your case study question. We will see that in the case studies. Okay, any doubt in this value conflict concept? We can discuss 1 or 2 minutes here now. Social reformers are facing value conflict because they are going against the value of society. If the society is talking about patriarchal or parochial values, the social reformers mostly are talking about modern values. So it was totally against the societal value. So we can understand that societal values codified and everybody is following, that is objectively followed. So that's the part of ethics of the society. But your individual morality, when you talk about the social reformers, that is different. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, if you take, he was boycotted by entire Muslim community at that point of time. Same was the case with Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Okay, so because they are going against the society. When you are going against the society, you may get some sanctions or punishment from the society, but you are going with your morality. Here you can see a value conflict. Now, what is the solution here? The solution, as I have told you, mainly tolerance. Now, what is tolerance? Tolerance is basically an attitude of fairness towards the others' viewpoints. Others' viewpoints in terms of culture. See, if you eat cow, I don't have any problem, right? Even Mahatma Gandhi also made a statement that I am a Hindu and my religion will not allow to eat the cow, but if you are eating it, I don't want to kill you because I value human being more than animal. I don't remember exactly the statement. It was something like this. It's like this. I request my Muslim brothers not to eat cow, but if they do so, I cannot kill them because for me, human beings are more important than cows. So all these are actually showing tolerance that we will discuss. Actually, what I want to tell you is, in case of value conflict, the solution here you need to write is tolerance, value tolerance, or you can just write tolerance as the main solution. When it comes to case studies, from the facts we can derive solutions. But in general, if the question is asked, what you need to write here is the tolerance. You have to respect others' value. Okay, you have to respect others' viewpoints. You have to respect others' opinion, others' culture, religion, sex, caste, race. The differences are there. Accept and respect the difference. This is a theoretical answer. But when it comes to case study, from case study, you will see the facts. And based on the facts, seeing the situation, you can write the correct solution for that particular case study. In general, if the question is asked, solution is tolerance. Okay. Now, if you see during freedom struggle also, you can see this situation. Have you read about the truce struggle? Mahatma Gandhi's approach was this, right? There will be struggle, then there will be a gap for some time, and then there will be a struggle, then there will be a gap, then there will be a struggle. Like that it will go. But the Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru was totally against it. They were only for struggle, continuous struggle till you overthrow English. But Gandhi was of this opinion, like struggle, this is one phase, and then there will be a truce, that means a gap, then struggle, then truce, then struggle. It will go like this: struggle, this is the lowest level, and then truce, struggle, like this. So you can see three different phases in during freedom struggle also. 1920, like non-cooperation movement. Next struggle after 10 years, that is civil disobedience movement, 1930s, and another struggle after another 10 years. So you need some time to get prepared. Okay, the context I'll discuss now. It is actually Quit India movement. So, okay, now one more paradox that you can see is related to environment versus development. So this can come in another context also, like development versus displacement. So this is again an ethical question. The case study is possible that you have to construct a road or a tower or any developmental activity, multi-purpose project, you have to evacuate the people. So that is related to development and displacement. So case study is possible. So this is also a paradox. This is also related to value conflict. Now environment versus development, what is the solution? Solution, you can write even 1,000 words about sustainable development. You're talking about that, so I don't think that you will face a problem with respect to the solution for this. So the idea is, in this question you wrote the perfect answer, you gave the solution, and then some of these examples also you can quote, maybe these examples that I've discussed, and you can write few lines, 1 or 2 lines if time is there. Okay, but see, the point is hardly you can write 125 words, so you need to arrange it accordingly. You don't want to write all these value conflicts which we have discussed. I've told you these are the possibilities, but mainly in which context I'm telling this is because you may get case studies from each topics. Okay, so from case study purpose only, I have just gave these different value conflicts that you can see or that you may face. Okay, so what is the synthesis? Synthesis actually sustainable development. Sustainable development means the development that will not compromise the future generation, that will meet the needs of the current generation and will not compromise the needs of the future generation, right? So distribution of resources should be done properly. Can we move to the next topic? So that mainly the first topic is related to value, ethics, morality, value conflict. These are the main topics that we wanted to do, and we have completed that. Now determinants of ethics. So we have also discussed about the types of values, nature of values. Okay, now the determinants of ethics. Determinants of ethics, in this we will see the sources mainly. So this will be a direct question, previously also asked, determinants of ethics and role of various social institutions. Various social institutions means we are going to talk about what are the social institutions, mainly family, role of family, what type of values will be inculcated by family, role of school, within family, joint family and nuclear family, what type of value you will get from nuclear family, what type of values from joint family, then values from schools, religion, media, social media, peer group, etc. So this is what we need to discuss under the sources. Most of you may be knowing it, but I will just complete this discussion. Okay, so determinants of this, it can be at the individual level, okay, and it can be at the organization level. So this we will discuss later. Organization or profession, it will be based on that particular profession, right? So here there is nothing much to discuss. This will be codified. For example, if you are an IAS IPS officer, there will be all India service rules. So it is based, everything will be based on all India service rules. If you are a lawyer, based on all India you know what their role. If it is a doctor, then the professional code of conduct will be there. So that is different part that will be codified. So from where it will be derived, it is already codified. Other than that, when you discuss the other dimension, we have to discuss what are the main sources: family, school or education, then religion or culture, media, print media, electronic media, social media, that is very important, social media, and inspiring figures, idols, leaders. These are directly there in your syllabus. Okay, so inspiring figures, leaders, okay, idols, they will directly ask you. In fact, it was asked who's the idol of your life, okay, so why, etc. That kind of questions can be asked, but it is not possible for me to take that or give that answer for you. You have to identify that. Okay, you can learn from 3 social reformers. You can take 3 social reformers, learn them. Okay, it can be Rajaram Mohan Roy, it can be Swami Vivekananda, it can be Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So you can learn from them what are their teachings, etc. So that will be good in case if a question is asked on that particular, who you will consider as the best. Or you can also learn from other leaders, great leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru or Mahatma Gandhi, etc. So that is something which you need to do. Okay, I cannot do that in the class. So many people are there. So if they asked, it will be individual level answer. Okay, we will discuss all these now. This one I can't do. This one you have to prepare yourself. You can prepare from 3 or 4 social reformers, 3 or 4 great leaders, etc. Okay, inspiring figures. You can also take from the civil servants also, like 2 3 IAS IPS officers from whom you got inspiration. Okay, like that you need to prepare that. So we'll start with family. Religion, we have to discuss. Religion is also very important a very important source of value. So the first one that we need to discuss is family. Okay, so family is actually the first agent of socialization. So family is actually primary socialization agent. And what is the secondary socialization agent? It is the educational institution. So primary socialization of any individual is actually family. Okay, and then it is actually the first school for children, and parents are the first teachers. So it has been said like this. So family is the first school and parents are the first teachers. So the first or the primary socialization agent. And family have got so much importance or significance in shaping the value. Okay, as there is a lot of emotional investment in inculcating value. So family is going to play a huge role. And what are the values which will be inculcated by family? Different set of family which can come from family, which different types of value which can come from family. If you divide into nuclear family or joint family, or in general we can discuss about some value like love, it is common, care, respect for elders, okay, brotherhood, etc. So these are common, right? When we discuss about family, all these are the values which are evolved or developed from family only at the initial stage. Then specific to nuclear family, individuality. If it is nuclear family, you may not be too much connected with your relatives or kin groups. So it promote individuality and it promotes success, right? It promote this one promote collectivity. Joint family, collectivity, brotherhood, etc. So nuclear family, again, if you see, it promote aspiration. So here it is achievement. Sorry, the opposite. Okay, this is aspiration, that is correct. One second. Yeah, this is aspiration. Yeah, achievement, ascription also. Mainly we will talk about ascription. Ascription means you believe it's related to traditional concepts. Okay, so aspiration means it promote you to become rich. It promote you to become well educated, get better jobs, etc. Ascription means like traditional belief, respecting the elders, that kind of values. I hope you understood what you mean by ascription. Then in nuclear family, this is a new concept, filiocentrism. Filiocentrism means, sociology students will understand this. It is a child who's considered important in the family and mainly the decision maker. Okay, for example, in a nuclear family, what type of TV to be bought, what type of car to be bought, the color, etc., will be decided by the child of the main deciding person is actually the child. That situation is what filiocentrism. Nowadays, this is a trend. But when it comes to joint family, the concept of karta is more important. Karta means it is an elder member of the family who decide everything about everyone in the family. So authority of karta in the joint family. So that is again a value. This is what I've told you, respect for elders. So when it comes to nuclear family, that respect for elder element is actually coming down. But in general, when you talk, these are the values which are developed from family: love, care, respect for elders, brotherhood, okay, collectivity. If it is nuclear family, then this distinction also you can make and you can write an answer. So if the question is asked, this is how you need to write. So primary socialization, and then these are the common points, and you can divide further. But they will ask you in general sources, okay, and maybe specific to family and education. Not one alone, the chances are rare. Maybe one or two together will be asked. Okay, now if you talk about nuclear family, the other values like modern values, you can write modern values here like gender equality. Okay, nuclear family, gender equality, because you are not living in a collectivity. When you are not living in a collectivity, you will be treating your spouse and the other person also equally like you, and there will be a clear cut division of labor, that husband will do this, wife will do this, etc. Arjun, turn off your mic. Okay, and the values are modern, progressive in this nuclear family. So this difference you can actually make, and in conclusion, both are actually good values. There is nothing extreme here. So, but I have just made a distinction between joint family and nuclear family. That will make the answer very specific. That is the reason. Otherwise, no extremes. Family anyway is considered good, and family anyway is the agent of primary socialization, and family will promote these values only, no extreme values. Okay, but there are criticisms, like Karl Marx or Marxist will criticize family. Okay, by, yeah, it's okay. So here this is individual value, gender equality, I have written this, and division of labor, have you understood? That means between husband and wife, husband will do these, wife will do these, that is there. Okay, now some people will criticize it by saying that sexual division of labor, on the basis of sex the division of labor is there, but it may not be the case in nuclear family. In the current society, it may not be the case. Earlier it is sexual division of labor, female will be considered a secondary breadwinner, even though female is an IAS officer and the husband may be a small employer, but still female is considered as a secondary breadwinner. But now that is not the case. This division of labor that I am talking about here, it is not sexual division of labor. It is not based on sex. Like, it is not based on that female will do household activity and male will do the other jobs. No, I didn't mean that. Here it can be like cooperation. Okay, so the modern family or this nuclear family concept, the values are cooperation, not authority. So here the bad sides of joint family, if you see, authoritarian value, okay, like male authority, and it is basically patriarchal value. So these are the other sides, but here we don't want to discuss, because why? The reason is we are talking the good aspects only. What are the values, or what are we are discussing about source of different values, right? So family, mainly we talk about good values. And criticisms, if you want to write, joint family may promote authoritarian culture or patriarchal culture, maybe one or two lines towards the end you can write the criticism. Or you can also write the negative aspects of family, like alienation. Okay, this is by the Marxist. And rebellion. So too much authority by the karta, you may rebel against the elder members, right? Alienation means family hinders the creativity of the child. Family actually force you to go to one particular job. Family force you to do this kind of education. For example, you may be creative and you want to do one job, but because of family pressure, you will do the other job, and that will actually lead to alienation in the future. For you, you may not be able to express your creativity. You may not be able to do the job in that particular field which you are going, because of the pressure of family. So these are the negative aspects of family, but we don't want to discuss too much about the negative aspects. Okay, we don't want to talk too much about authority. We don't want to talk about patriarchy here. We talk about good values. Ethics paper, it's all about strategic. It's not writing all things you know. It's all about strategic, making the examiner feel that you're a good person. That's it. Okay, so write the good things maximum, 90% good things, and 10% as a criticism you can write, not anything else. Okay, so joint family, the what are the good values? Respect for elders, collectivity, brotherhood, right? Collective values. Authority, that is a negative aspect. Now the criticism is like alienation that we have discussed, rebellion, the child may become submissive, too much of submissive. And you know what Karl Marx says is, in capitalism, in capitalist system, there should be a possible revolution when the capitalist exploitation of the workers is so high. But that revolution is not happening because of family. This family prevents the individual to go for work and get exploited at the workplace. So this is actually a criticism of family. So few criticisms are there. Most of the criticisms are from the Marxist thinkers. You don't want to write too much criticism. Maybe what you can write is authority and also alienation. Okay, and patriarchy also. So in general, what I want to tell you is nuclear family is more of liberal in nature, liberal values, modern values, okay, joint family, it is traditional, and parochial, we can't say parochial value, but traditional values mostly. Traditional values also good, like common collectivity is good, brotherhood is good, respecting the elders is good, it's not that it is bad. Okay, but traditional values. Here achievement or aspirations is given more importance. Here ascribed status is given more importance. School. So first agent of socialization, I have told you, family. Second agent of socialization is actually school. And in fact, school is the first formal agent of socialization. Family is not formal, right? So school is the first formal agent of socialization. Okay, so like school, like family that I've discussed, school is also having immense significance in inculcating value. Okay, as both family and school inculcate value during the formation stage of life. So at the initial stage, at the budding stage, both family and school is going to play a big role in the life of the individual in inculcating values. So it all depends on the schooling and the family. An individual is actually the product of his family and the school. Okay, so values, what are the values from school? Mainly equality. Do you think that this is a value which you can get from family? No. In family, actually equality concept you may not see, because even between brother and sister there may be discrimination. In terms of food, in terms of health, in terms of education, you can see the discrimination between brother and sister. So equality is a value which comes from family, because a school will treat everybody equally, every student in the class. But there are criticisms, like because of right to education, 25% should be economically backward sections, right? So, and if the other backward sections, especially Dalit students, are going, then even in the school, in the same class, they are sitting in the back bench, and also the teacher who's from the higher caste will not be interested in talking to them, even looking at them. No doubt clearance, nothing. So eventually there may be enrollment for the students, but dropout is what maximum you can see. Even the other children also will not mingle with them. It is not the problem of the children. From the family itself, it had been told to the students that you should not mingle, you should not go, you should not touch, you should not talk to them. So there may be question about this particular value, but in general I can write equality, because I cannot write that under family. So equality. Why not family? Between brother sister inequality will be there, husband wife inequality will be there, right? Even father mother also inequality will be there. So equality, the best source, the first source is actually what? School. Merit, second one, important. Okay, team spirit, you start playing the games in teams, so team spirit. Leadership to an extent, okay, leadership, tolerance, discipline. Okay, so these are the main values which are from the school. Now, content of education is very important. The role of teacher is very important. The environment, school environment is very important. Okay, so extracurricular activities in the school is again very important. All these will shape the value of the student, and various other activities like scouts and guides. Hope you might have heard this. Scouts and guides, NCC or NSS, National Service Scheme, etc. All these are also playing vital role in inculcating value in the student. And the disadvantage, you can say, disadvantage, not the disadvantage, criticism, like we have discussed in case of family. The negative side also we need to highlight, that I've told this 25% student, they feel inferiority, and that will be developed over a period of time. Okay, so that will create, that you can write here, inferiority. And within the other 75 also you will feel this inferiority, because some of the parents will be so rich and some of them will be poor. So the rich parents will drop the kids in the big car, and big facilities, better equipments, etc. will be there, facilities will be there, seeing that there will be an inferiority complex which will be developed in the minds of the students from the childhood. Okay, so that may be a criticism or negative which you can write when we discuss about the school. So these are the main values from the school. Any doubts here? Tell me.
Yeah, one doubt, sir. In nuclear family, you said there will be a equality, right? Gender equality. But what I heard from sociology classes, like in a nuclear family, we don't have a gender equality, and it is leading to a lot of domestic violence. So, I mean, these two are something different, right? Because we are saying neutral families leading to domestic violence, and here we are saying it is gender equality.
No, don't bring sociology here. In sociology class, we will look into different dimensions, different perspectives of different people, different thinkers, so much of perspective, so much of dimension. So one of the dimension is what I have discussed over there. When it comes to ethics, we just need to confine to some good points. Okay, so entirely different. What we understood about family in sociology and ethics will be entirely different. So forget about all those things. Don't see ethics by keeping in mind the concepts and perspectives that we have learned in sociology class. And that will make it. Yeah. So the main point here in case of school, it is a team spirit, sense of brotherhood also you can write, brotherhood. Nationalism, right? This Independence Day celebration, etc., will start from the school, Republic Day, Independence Day. So, nationalism. And then team spirit, leadership qualities, tolerance, discipline. Anything more you want to add here? Again, there is nothing which is fixed. Whatever is important, whatever you can see in all the books is what I have written here. If you have anything more, you can add, but this in itself is so much enough. You don't want to add too much of value. Don't make it too theoretical your answer. Give practical examples also whenever is possible, okay? Then religion. Third one is religion. Religion is a very, very important source of value. In fact, none of the religion talk bad, okay? But interpretation is what matters, and interpretation is what actually create problems. So, and do you want to become religious to become ethical? That is also not required. So the point is, religion is a very important source of value or ethics or morals, but this point I have raised in the first session also. It is not necessary that you need to be religious to become ethical. It's not that ethics is about religion. No, you can be an atheist and you can be moral, you can be ethical, right? It is an individual conscience at that point of time. That is independent of religion. So ethics can exist independent of religion. Okay, it is ultimately individual conscience in case of atheist. Okay, so if you want, you can just write a question over there. Discuss the relationship between religion and ethics. Discuss the relationship between religion and ethics. It's a very common question which will be asked, which can be asked. Any ethics book, if you take related to religion topic, you will find this question. Analyze the role of religion with respect to ethics in the contemporary context. Analyze the role of religion with respect to ethics in the contemporary context. So I may not discuss completely about all the religion, but I'll give you a glimpse of like Buddhism, Buddhist ethics, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism. Okay, we may briefly talk about that, but you should be reading it more about that. It will be very good for you. Anyway, it is there in your lexicon, but I'll give you a glimpse of all these in the coming sessions. Not here, in the session, not in the coming sessions. One more statement you can write: religion is ethics and ethics is religion. Discuss. Religion is ethics and ethics is religion. So this is something which you can, here again, like what we have discussed in case of ethics and morals, you can make this diagram: religion, ethics. So what you can interpret from this, you get 2-3 points here. What is this area? Region 1. What is this region 1? Religious but not ethical, right? What is region 2? Ethical but not religious. What is region 3? Both religious as well as ethical, right? So like honesty, etc. Every religion will talk about that. So this is what a good situation. Okay. Similarly, when we discussed about law and ethics also, I have told you. So here the point is, ethics is not completely about religion. An atheist can also be ethical, or he is having his own morals based on his conscience. Same is the case with law, right? So this is law, this is ethics. So what is this region 1? Region 1 is legal but not ethical. I've told you this before. AFSPA will come here, and marital rape. You cannot convict under marital rape. No such offence is there. You may be able to convict or punish the husband under Domestic Violence Act or any other crime, but not rape. Okay, so 376 you cannot do. Maybe 498 domestic violence and the hurt 326, 324 IPC sections. You can do all these, but 376 will not be applicable within marriage. So the point is marital rape is not applicable. Okay. So what we need maximum overlap between law and ethics. So when we discuss about Hinduism, we'll discuss about Nishkam Karma. Okay, that means selfless Nishkam Karma, selfless duty. And we will discuss various other religion also. When we discuss about religion is basically set of beliefs and practices. So it is related to certain beliefs and practices. So mostly these are going to be good beliefs and good practices, do good things, etc. So it will be almost related to ethics. So in case if you see the definition of ethics also set of principles. Okay, so ethics also set of principles, and this beliefs can match with these principles, like do good for the society, do good for others, okay, etc. The problem is interpretation of religion. Interpretation of religion may lead to radicalization, fundamentalization, extremism, fundamentalism, extremism, etc. So this jihad, communalism, etc. are because of interpretation. Okay, so this ISIS, if you see IS, now it is IS or Al Qaeda. What is the source of this IS? Islamic State. The source of this IS is actually Wahhabi movement. Okay, hope you might be knowing this in history. So Wahhabi movement, the objective of Wahhabi movement, there are two objectives. One is actually reform within Islam, then establishment of Islamic State. So this is actually no problem. This is good, reform within Islam. Okay, but this second one was actually created problem, and it got suppressed, Wahhabi movement. But you see, something which is based on an ideology, it will never end. It can never end. Maoism you can suppress, but it will come back very strongly. So here Wahhabi movement, despite the fact that it got suppressed by the state, it came in a very strong and in a new form. That is what actually IS. So Wahhabi movement objective, establishment of Islamic State. So the point here is, even in case of your essay, if you get a question on IS, you should not start directly from IS. You should start writing the answer from Wahhabi movement, then come to IS. This should be your introductory paragraph. Okay, so the narrow interpretation of religion is what actually leading to. Even this jihad also is a concept which is actually misunderstood by people or misinterpreted by people. Okay, and misused by people. Misinterpreted by media, misunderstood by people, misused by the religious people or the so-called terrorist. So jihad actual meaning is actually struggle, and there are different stages also. You have to struggle from within, and then you have to work for the society, and at the last level, third stage only, you should be ready to die for the goodness of Allah. And that was misinterpreted by people. So the point here is, all the religion, what I want to tell you is, all the religion talk only about good. Okay, we will discuss various religious ethics. We have to do that in the separate chapter, like we'll discuss Buddhism, Jainism, etc. All the religion, the commonalities, religion is again a set of beliefs and practices related to some sacred things. So religion is a set of beliefs and practices. Ethics is also a set of principles. So there is a commonality. Okay, and the religion talk good things, which also forms part of the value system or the ethics. But the misinterpretation of religion, misrepresentation of facts, which is actually creating the problem. This fundamentalism, communalism, religious revivalism, all radicalization, jihad, etc. Okay, so religion is not wrong. Religion is good. The misinterpretation of religion is what actually creating the problem. So what is the solution? Like when I've told you, when it comes to the value conflict, what was the solution? Value tolerance. So here, religious tolerance. Respect the other's religion. That is the solution. Okay. So like the statement which Gandhi said, you can use that. Okay. I don't remember exactly what was the statement. It was something like this. I am a Hindu and I request my Muslim brothers not to slaughter cow. But if they do it, I cannot kill them, because human being is more important for me than the animals. So that statement, Gandhi statements, towards the end you will see a lot of statements in the lexicon book. You can study to good statements so that you can use in your ethics as well as in your essay paper also. Okay, now media I'll take in the next session. Some other 2-3 also we need to discuss, like media, etc. That I'll do in the next session. Any doubts so far in this? So we discussed about, this is what we have done. We discussed about value, we discussed about ethics, we discussed about morality, we discussed about value conflict, we discussed about the solution, we discussed about types of value, we discussed about nature of value, and now we discussed about source of value, we discussed about family, we discussed about religion, we discussed about what? Education. So this is what we have done so far. The first chapter is almost complete. If you do this media, etc., then it will be complete. Any doubts? We can discuss 2-3 minutes now.